Today I'm going to show you how to make the tastiest stuffed peppers. It's so delicious. You have amazing peppers stuffed with onions, meat, ground beef, or you could do ground turkey in a sauce and then cheese melted on top. It's the perfect dinner idea. Hi, I'm Carrie with eatingonadime.com, and we're on a mission to help families eat well on a budget. You're going to love today's recipe. Stuffed peppers are so flavorful, and you're going to be shocked how easy they actually are to make. Now, you can find today's, Toby, are you excited too? You can find today's recipe linked in the description below, or you can always go to eatingonadime.com and just search stuffed peppers. Begin by preheating your oven to 425 degrees and then making sure that your rack is in the middle. Next, we're going to take bell peppers. I'm going to use red or yellow, and you just need 3. You can do green bell peppers if you want, but it's a personal preference of mine that I prefer these colors, or like orange too. So we're going to cut these in half. Make sure that there's no stickers left on them, and we're going to take out the core. So I'm just going to use my knife and just cut around it. And you want to just get out all of the membranes. I wanted to show you what I meant. So I actually switched to just my steak knife because this one was a little bit harder to use. So we're going to start by just running your knife around the edge of the stem. And I'm sorry for my dog. Rosie, just doesn't like it when I'm not paying attention to her. So see, I'm just going to run this around all the way through to get all of that out. Then I'm just going to go in and clean it up with my knife. You can also take like a spoon to clean it up. That will help too. And you're just going to get all the insides out. So I'm finishing up the bell peppers, and I'm just using a knife. Just like I said, I have the last half to do. And I decided to go with this kind of wonky long one versus this one, just to show you that you can use any shape or size of bell peppers for this recipe. So don't freak out about it. Now, obviously, this one, like this yellow one, is way bigger than my red one, and this is way easier to clean out, and it will just fit more in there. So I prefer this, but you have to go with whatever you can get at your grocery store. So I just want you to see that it doesn't matter the shape or the size, this recipe is going to work for you. Now, once you get all these out, we're going to place them, get those seeds out. We're going to place these into a baking dish. I'm using a 9x13 baking dish. Sorry, will come out. And let's do it this way. We're just going to lay these right on top. Oh, I missed that membrane. Got to get that out of there. The membrane doesn't really bother me, but it kind of blocks, stuffing it. So that's why we like to get it out. And then the red ones. I'm going to rearrange these to make them pretty. There we go, see? Now we're just going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil on top. Just a little bit, because we're going to roast these first while we're making the insides. And that is okay. It's like a half a tablespoon, so it's not a lot. And then a little bit of salt. Just a quick sprinkle. Don't have to do the salt, but we tried it without the salt, and we prefer it with the salt because it just flavors up those bell peppers while they're roasting. Now we're going to place these in the oven for 20 minutes until they begin to get nice and brown, and they're going to become soft. You might think that you can skip this step, but the insides won't cook as long in there, and so in order to have that soft, edible, delicious, you want to make sure you cook them first. Now we're going to work on the inside. We need like the stuffing of the peppers. We need a half of an onion finely diced. I'm using a yellow onion. And I'm just cutting it in half and peeling it. I'm going to use my chopper. I linked it for you if you want to grab one. I love my chopper because it makes, especially onions, just so much easier to do. So I just cut it so that way it's into quarters, and then I just push it down so that way it's kind of centered on there, and you get these perfect onion dices in seconds instead of minutes. and there's no tears at all. How awesome is that? In a large skillet, add the rest of the olive oil, about a half a tablespoon. Add in the chopped onions. We get everything out. And a pound of lean ground beef. I'm doing 93.7 today. And I'm using my meat chopper to chop up the meat. I have this link for you as well. But we're just going to break apart the meat and cook this until this is no longer pink and the onions are nice and soft. I wanted to show you, see how these onions are changing color and they're more translucent? That's how you know when onions are soft. I'm just going to continue letting it brown and letting it sit until it's completely browned through. In the pan, add a tablespoon of minced garlic or 3 cloves of garlic that you've minced. Either one works great. We're just going to cook this for about 1 minute. Add in 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of oregano, 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. I'm going to switch to my spoon. You've heard me talk about this spoon. I included a link for it, but I love it because it's perfect for nonstick. It holds up really well, but it's also like a spatula, but also like a spoon. It's one of my favorite kitchen products now. I got it from a recommendation from another food blogger, and I'm obsessed. So we're just gonna heat this through. Stir in 1 cup of cooked rice. This is a great time to use leftover rice, but you don't need as much as you might think. You could increase the rice if you would like more rice to meat ratio, but I like it where it's just a little bit of rice in there. Then stir in 1 cup of that shredded cheese. We're gonna save the other cup for a topping. So we're gonna let this melt and heat through, and we're ready to stuff. The cheese is nice and melted. And it's perfect timing because the timer on the bell peppers just went off, and so we're ready to stuff them. This is what your peppers should look like when they come out of the oven. See how they're just slightly getting brown, and they're pretty soft, but they're not mush. So that's just something important to keep out. Now, if you get water in them and inside the pan, that's completely okay. That's completely normal. Now it's time to assemble. So we're just going to spoon this mixture evenly into all of the bell peppers. If you overfill them a little bit, that's okay. But see why I love this spatula? Because it's a spatula and it's a spoon, so you don't have to dirty up more utensils. And you guys know, I have a club called the Lazy Day Cooking Club. I love to be lazy in the kitchen. I want to spend eating, trying new foods, watching movies, working out, hanging out with my kids, my family, my husband, not washing dishes and cleaning up all the time. Okay, so we're just gonna get this all nice and stuffed. You might have to push it in because remember, some of the bell peppers are like this. So you gotta push them kind of in there to get it all in. And if they're smaller than normal, that's okay. It's gonna be overfilled. Or you could go ahead and throw in another one if you wanted to. But I think these are gonna be perfect. I'm almost done. Just gonna get all that last bits of goodness. Looks so good. Smells amazing. Then we're gonna add the rest of that cheese. Just sprinkle it right on top. We're gonna pop it back into the oven for 10 to 15 minutes until all the cheese is melted and it's heated through. They look beautiful. They're very, very hot right now. So we're just gonna let this sit for 5 to 10 minutes and then we're ready to dive in. While we wait on these to cool off, I just wanna go over a few things. This is perfect opportunity to use leftover rice, but if you want it to be low carb, you could do cauliflower rice. I've done it before and that's really, really good as well. You can also switch out your beef for ground turkey, ground chicken, or even ground pork. I think all of those would be delicious in this recipe. And you could swap out the cheese. Now, make the recipe as it is and you're going to fall in love with it, but then you can kind of jazz it up and do different things, like try different meats, try different cheeses. You can even do like leftover Spanish rice and do taco seasonings to do like a taco stuffed bell pepper. There's so many great options, and I think you're going to love this recipe and be making it on repeat. And now it's time for my favorite part, taking a bite and testing it out. I'm gonna get this one. It looks so good. They smell so great, and I love the cheesy goodness on top. Now, do you agree, disagree? Stuffed bell peppers are actually a lot easier than you thought, right? Like, it's really not difficult. It's just a matter of dirtying up one skillet and then this pan. That's it. Okay, now it's time for the real truth. That's really, really good. It was really hot too, so I need to let it sit just for a few more minutes. But it's really, really good. Remember, if you liked today's video, love it if you'd like and subscribe. We've passed over like 115,000 subscribers, and we are super pumped. We love giving you guys inspiration to eat at home. And also, you can grab the full recipe linked in the description, or you can always go to Google and type in E99 stuffed peppers, and you're gonna love this. And you'll love your crock pot. You're gonna love our crock pot recipe too. Okay, guys, I am out of here. Thanks so much for joining me today. I love sharing my favorite recipes with you, and I think you're going to love this. Well, it's a brand new recipe on the site, but people have been going crazy over the crockpot version for years, so it was time for us to make just the regular stuffed bell peppers. I hope you guys like it, and I will see you next time in my kitchen. Bye, friends.